Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a Shop My Stash Get Ready With Me inspired by the 2022 Pantone Color of the Year, which if you missed it, it is Very Peri, which is a periwinkle shade. It's a beautiful kind of deeper periwinkle, and I love periwinkle. I think it's such a beautiful color. I know I'm always saying I don't love like purple eyeshadows on my eyes, but I do love those kind of lighter bluish purple tones, especially when they're a little bit lighter, more pastel. So I was just inspired to shop my stash for all the periwinkle that I could find. That's what we're gonna do today, and then we're gonna create a look with them. So let's go ahead and pick out the products. All right, so for the base and for my kind of non-color products, I'm gonna use products that are in my makeup basket and my project pan. So for my base, I'm gonna use a mix of the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk from my makeup basket, mixed with my Pacifica Liquid Cover Full Coverage Concealer. That is in my project pan, and I found that these two make a really pretty combo. So we're gonna do that for the base. For my concealer, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo and the CoverGirl Clean Fresh, both from my makeup basket. Maybe I'll even mix in a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. For my highlight, I'm thinking this will be really pretty, the Aether Beauty Pure Diamond Dust Highlight. That's what that looks like. I'm thinking that'll complement periwinkle very nicely because it's kind of a cool toned pinky highlighter. Then I'll also use my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer in Fair for my makeup basket. We may revisit some of these other makeup basket items, but for now I think those are all of the products from there that I'm gonna select. All right, so that's kind of my face products. Those obviously are not going to have anything to do with the color periwinkle, but now let's get into some of the more like colorful products that we can kind of follow the periwinkle and like purpley theme. For blush, I'm thinking my CoverGirl Cheekers blush in Natural Twinkle is going to be a really pretty kind of purpley mauve toned color for this look. This is actually in my project pan, but I think this is the most purple-ish blush that I own. Yeah, none of these are very purple. And then there is also my All Good Get Glowing blush in Jam, which is another plummy mauve kind of color. I may do what I've been doing a lot this month and layer both of these. This is my other project pan blush, the Clove and Hallow Hydratint in Blossom. These actually make a really pretty combo, and I think because they are kind of on the more neutral to cool leaning side, these will go well with like a periwinkle eye look. All right, so now for the fun part, which is eyeshadow. I'm probably gonna dip into a few different palettes, but one that I think I'm gonna have to dip into is my ColourPop in a Trance palette. I mean, first of all, this has periwinkle packaging, but this has a couple of really pretty periwinkle shades. I'm especially looking at this shade down here called Own Your Power. That's beautiful. I'm thinking that with some of the blues in here is gonna be really pretty. So that might be the main palette I use. But then I'm also thinking my Profusion Pastels also has a really pretty kind of periwinkle purple in it. Then there's the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette, which doesn't really have a true periwinkle, but this Oasis shade down here is a really, really light sky blue that's kind of verging on periwinkle. So I'm thinking that might at least complement the eyeshadow look that we're doing. I do also have a couple of bluish purple singles in here. This one, that one is Earthshine from ColourPop, and then these two, Howlin' and Prowlin' from ColourPop. Maybe even a little bit of this one would be pretty. I'm picking a lot of options. Okay, and then the only other palette that's actually out here because it's in my pan those eyeshadows currently, this is the first palette that I thought of when I saw the Pantone Color of the Year announcement. Specifically, this shade right here, Soul, is such a unique kind of a deeper periwinkle. It's got like a kind of dark gray undertone to it. Peep the new pan in here, by the way. But yeah, I really want to reach into that, and maybe even some of the other neutrals in here might kind of ground the look. And there's also Celestial, which is more of like a true purple. So yeah, that definitely has to be included today. All right, so I went ahead and laid out all the palettes that I chose, and then I put the singles that I'm planning on using into this little quad. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna use all of this, but this is what I'm gonna mainly be pulling from. I'm also gonna pull out this Black Moon Cosmetics eyeshadow topper in the shade Luna. It's got a little hint of periwinkle to it. It's kind of like a sparkly, glittery topper. I might use that, I might not, but I'm gonna pull it out just in case. Okay, I feel like the lip is gonna be tricky because it's kind of hard to figure out what kind of lip color goes well with periwinkle. Oh, you know what I'm thinking? I just remembered this color from Urban Decay. This is their Shine Vice lipstick in Local. This might actually be the perfect color. It's kind of a cool toned purpley nude. That might be perfect. So that's what I'm gonna pull out for now. I may also grab my e.l.f. Seriously Satin lipstick in cream. This is in my makeup basket. It's a very light, neutral pink nude. That might be pretty kind of in the center of the lips. Grab mascara, eyeshadow primer. Let me grab a white base as well because we are gonna be using some pastels. Then for brows, I'm gonna use these two, the Urban Decay Brow Blade and the Pacifica Highest Def Brow Gel. I'm gonna grab my black pencil liner from Marc Jacobs. It's in my project pan. Also gonna pull out my black liquid liner just in case. All right, so that's everything I've picked out for this look. A lot of eyeshadows in here, but I think this should have me covered for every part of my look. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the base products. I'm gonna just mix some of, I took about that much of the CoverGirl Clean Fresh foundation, and then I'm gonna mix like a dollop of my Pacifica concealer on there. Then I'm also gonna take a little dab of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Just making a concoction today, so just gonna mix all those together on the back of my hand. And my sunscreen today is the MD Solar Sciences Mineral Tinted Cream SPF 30. Alright, so there's that, a nice kind of light to medium coverage there. Then for my concealer, I'm using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. And then I'm going to use my Project Pan liquid blush, the Clove and Hallow Hydratint in Blossom. This is not periwinkle, obviously, but I feel like it complements periwinkle really well because it's kind of like a cool toned pink color. And I may top this with some of the CoverGirl Cheekers blush. I probably will. Typically, I feel like I need to finish off my look with like a little bit more blush, so I'm just gonna start with this though. And I took that all across the face over the nose. I could just keep applying layers and layers and layers of this blush, but I'm gonna have to stop myself. Taking my foundation sponge and just kind of blending along the edges on the areas that I want to tone it down a tiny bit. I feel like I need a little bit more concealer on the under eyes. And then I'm immediately going to set that with my CoverGirl Clean Fresh pressed powder, which I love this pressed powder. I mean, I already knew I liked it, but ever since it's been in my makeup basket, I have just been loving it so much. Like, I think this might be my favorite powder in my whole collection. It's just so smooth and like not heavy looking, but it just sets everything so effectively. Definitely worth the hype in my opinion. Then I'm setting the rest of my face with that powder as well. Going in with my Aether Beauty highlighter in the shade Pure Diamond Dust. I love this highlighter so much. It's so pretty. It is kind of a sparkly highlighter, but I swear I mean that in the best way. Like, it's almost got this wet glimmer to it. Alright, then for bronzer, using my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in Fair. I've been loving this. You can tell I've been using it. I think this is my favorite brush to apply this with, the Eco Tools Full Powder Brush. It's such a big, like, kind of egg-shaped brush. It's very tapered. It's like the perfect cross between fluffy and dense. It picks up a good amount of product, but it also blends it and diffuses it really nicely. Oh, my forehead is a little bit dry and flaky. It's been actually very cold here and also windy. And we even got snow this weekend, which was so much fun. And there's another chance of snow this coming Friday, so fingers crossed. I love snow. I am going to go in with some of this powder blush, the CoverGirl Cheekers blush in Natural Twinkle, because I just can't stop. I actually like applying this blush kind of more in the outer part of my cheeks, almost as like a blush contour. Kind of like sculpting out the cheek a little bit with that. Yeah, I've come to realize these are both in my project pan. I really like these two blushes together. They actually make a beautiful combo. Alright, so I think that is all of the face makeup for now. Let's move on to the eyes, the fun part. I'm going to start by priming my lids with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Alright, next for brows, I've actually been really loving this Urban Decay Brow Blade. I like to use the pencil side for the tail of my brows. And then the marker side to kind of draw a few little hair-like strokes in the front. Alright, not perfect, but definitely acceptable. Then I'm going to use this brow gel from Pacifica, which I'm very much still testing out. I'm still not sure about my thoughts on this. I've only used it a couple times, so. Okay, so time for the eye look. I'm a little nervous because I don't quite know what I'm going to do with this look, but I'm leaning towards a mostly matte lid. And I want to start out with this. This is probably the most periwinkle of all periwinkles in my collection. This is the shade Own Your Power from the ColourPop In a Trance palette. I just want to pack this all over my lid. So I'm basically just packing this all over the first 2/3 of my lid. I'm leaving the outer third blank for now. Oh, that is such a pretty color. So I kind of want to blend that out with a little bit more of a bluish color from the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette, this shade Oasis right here. It's definitely more blue than purple, but it still kind of falls into that periwinkle category, I think. So I'm gonna just pick some of that up on a crease brush from Eco Tools and kind of blend out the edge with that. Not really sure what to do with the outer corner, but I know I really want to use this shade from Norvina called Soul. It's kind of a deeper periwinkle. I think I'm going to try using that as my outer corner shade. Let's see what happens when I do that. Okay, I'm taking sort of a slightly dense crease brush for this. It's the BH Studio Pro 5 brush. Actually, no, that's not the brush I want. Okay, this brush has some like pink on it, but I'm cleaning off as much of that as I can on my rag. And I'm going to use the other side. I don't think it'll interfere too much. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, see, this is going on. It almost looks gray next to the lid shade that I have on right now. I used to hate this color eyeshadow, this specific one, but I've come around. All right, now I'm going into that BH crease brush and just kind of blending along the edges of that. All right, I'm taking a little bit more of Own Your Power from In a Trance on the lid. All right, picking up a little bit more of Oasis from Earth and Ocean and just blending out the crease with that. That is definitely kind of a sheer shade, so it does require some building. All right, I haven't really dipped into the Profusion Pastel palette, but I do kind of want to use this shade too, this shade called Harmony from here. It's actually a matte with like shimmer mixed in, but I'm just going to take a little bit of that and tap that on the center of my lid. I don't really know if this is going to do anything, but I just want to use the shade. It is just a little bit more purple, I think, than the ColourPop shade. So just adding a little bit of visual interest to this look. I just realized I haven't used any of these singles yet either. So let's start by taking some of Howlin' from ColourPop. This is more of a pastel kind of lilac shade. Doesn't really have much blue to it, but I do feel like this look is leaning very blue right now. So I kind of just want to add a little bit of this into the inner corner just to bring a little bit more purple to this look. I'm going to bring some of that onto the lid as well. I have to take Tala to the vet later. I feel like they're going to be like, what is that girl wearing? Then I'm going to take some of Prowlin, which is like the shimmery version of that purple, and just kind of top that with that color, just to brighten up the inner corner. I totally forgot to use the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. Oh well, I think it's turning out just fine without it. I am also going to smudge a little bit of Soul from Norvina as my lower liner. Then I kind of want to take some of Earthshine. I'm just bouncing between all of these colors, just going a little crazy, but I think I'm going to take some of Earthshine on my lower lash line as a little bit of a pop of shimmer. That's just such a pretty blurple. So I feel like it's perfect for this look. Alright, so I'm also going to use Soul as kind of like a smudgy liner on the upper lash line. I was also thinking of doing like a blue, like a straight up royal blue as my upper liner, but I feel like that's just going to take away from the periwinkle too much. So I'm just going to take this angled brush and use that It's kind of like a smudgy liner, because it is kind of a deep, or deeper at least than the other shades I'm wearing, so I think it'll work. Alright, then I'm taking some of Base from Norvina as my brow bone highlight, and also to blend out this area a little bit more. My right eye is blended really well. I feel like my left eye is never as blended. Alright, so I might regret this, but I do kind of want to use this Black Moon topper. So I'm going to start by picking some of it up on my finger, and I'm just going to tap it on like the inner part of my lid. Okay, yes, that was a good choice. Making sure to get like an even layer on my finger so it doesn't get like gloppy. That's not a word. Really mainly focusing this on the inner like third of my lid. I don't want to take it too far in. Then I'm taking this little pencil brush from Sigma. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this on this brush, and I'm going to use that to kind of create a little line here. Almost like a very subtle cut crease. Tapping a tiny bit more on my lid. Okay, that's very pretty. Just taking a tiny dot of that on the inner corner as well. Tapping it out. Alright, I'm not going to do like a heavy liner for this look, but I am just going to tight line with the Marc Jacobs eyeliner. Alright, just going to apply a coat of black mascara on the top. This is the Ilia Fullest Volumizing Mascara, and I'm not going to do any mascara on the bottom lashes today. Alright, this is really coming together. I'm loving this look so far. For the lip, I am going to do a combo of those two that I picked out. I'm going to start with the e.l.f. Seriously Satin in Cream and just apply that to the center of my lips. Kind of blend it out with my finger, and then top that with the Urban Decay Vice Lipstick in Local. I feel like I don't have that many opportunities to wear like a cooler purpley nude like this, but this is the perfect kind of look for that. Okay, so I think that is going to do it for this very PERI makeup look. What do you guys think of this eye look? I love how it turned out. I don't think I've ever done an all periwinkle look before, but I love how all of these shades work together. And I actually dipped into all of the palettes that I picked out, all 5 of these, plus the topper that I chose. So that's a success. Even though I didn't think I had a ton of periwinkle colors in my collection, I definitely had enough to create this look, and I feel like there's even some other colors that I could have used that I didn't, so I am feeling very inspired. I think I'm going to be doing some more periwinkle looks throughout the year because I just think it's such a fun color. I'm very into it. I think it was a great choice on Pantone's part for the year, so I hope that this inspired you to shop your stash as well. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you've not already. You can also support my channel on Patreon if you'd like, and otherwise I hope to see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!